What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessica and I talk about frugal living, fitness, motivation, and minimalism. In this video, I'm going to be talking about some money mishaps that I have done over the years, and these mishaps are kind of big. These mishaps set me on a trajectory that took years to repair, overcome, fix, insert adjective. It took me years to fix these mishaps, and I'm sharing them with you, so hopefully you do not put yourself in this position and you do not get into these mishaps. So my first mishap is that I bought a brand new car while I was deployed. So I'm on my third deployment right now, and on my first deployment I bought a brand new Ford Edge SUV. So they have this program where you can buy a brand new car, like a select brands of cars, of trucks, and they work with you and they ship it to the dealership in your hometown. They get it there somehow. Yeah, you work with this agency and you get a new car. This was a mishap for a few reasons. In addition to just the fact that it was a brand new car that I bought, there were some other red flags that I should not have, that should have, made me aware that this was a mistake. Just to start off with though, I already had a paid off Mustang car that my parents got me while I was in high school. So I already had a car, I had no car payment. We'll talk about it more, but partly this may have been something I, at the time, thought that I needed to do to build credit. I had no established credit at this time, and when I was growing up, and my parents too, it was like, you have to get credit, you have to build credit, you have to have good credit score, and that's the only way you can have a successful life is with a good credit score. So I tried everything I could to just even establish credit, and I think that was one of the things I was thinking of when I bought a brand new car, which was a big mistake. I was talking to the dealer and I didn't understand the process fully. I spent so much money just with the taxes and the fees of just doing this, in addition to just buying the car, which was about $25,000. I had to buy like the process to get it to the place near where I lived to pick it up. So, because the dealer at my home, area had nothing to do with the car other than just giving me the keys, basically. I was deployed, so I was making a little bit of extra money, but all the money I was making just went to this car. So I had no savings, I wasn't saving money, I wasn't investing. All my money went to this car. So yeah, this was a big mistake all around. I already had a car. I bought a brand new car just to establish credit. It was an SUV, brand new. I was deployed, didn't save any money from that deployment. It all went to just getting my foot in the door with establishing credit because I thought that was the end goal, and I wanted a new SUV for some reason. It was dumb. When I got home from this first deployment, I was stationed in Tampa at MacDill Air Force Base. This was in 2011, I believe. So, okay, now I have two cars. I have this Mustang that my parents bought me, no car payment. Now I have this Ford Edge, so I've got a car payment, insurance for two cars, and then I decided that, okay, now I want to get some dubs. So if you're not familiar, I wanted to get 20-inch wheels and tires for this SUV that I bought. All black, matte black. If I have a picture, I'll insert it, but this mistake is all about me buying brand new wheels and tires for a brand new car I had that already had brand new wheels and tires on it. So, few layers there. I think the SUV came with 18-inch wheels and tires, but I wanted to upgrade it a little bit. My boyfriend at the time was a car guy, so he was the friend you would call if your car was having issues. He was the guy. So naturally he knew a guy who had a wheel and tire shop. So when I finally bought the wheels and tires, they came in. He had his wheel and tire guy install them for free, I think. I don't know. But I didn't pay anything for that. But that does not excuse the rest of this problem. I had my Ford Edge for a year, bought wheels and tires on it, gave the wheels and tires to my boyfriend. Those are really expensive. During this time, I deployed a second time, and during this second deployment, I was able to pay off my SUV, and I have sold my Mustang at this point for $5,000 to a cousin. I sold that car. My second deployment was in 2013, and I paid off my SUV. And then in 2014, we went to this car show, and that's when I saw the Lexus, the IS 350 F Sport. So my boyfriend and I, we started going to these Lexus car meets because he had a Lexus that he kind of just rebuilt himself. He's really talented. So I saw a Lexus there at the Lexus dealership at this Lexus car meet, and I essentially just bought a brand new Lexus on the spot. This car had a few extra modifications to it because it was some kind of special car the dealership was debuting. So it had the windows tinted already, it was lowered, it had special wheels and tires on it. This car was really cool. If I can figure it out, I'll insert a picture. I traded in my paid off SUV to buy this car. This Lexus was $55,000. My SUV, I believe, was about $25,000. Oh my God, it was so dumb. Buying this Lexus was the biggest money mistake I have ever made. Having two cars already paid off, I still didn't get it. As soon as I paid off the SUV, I don't know what I was thinking. I went and just bought a Lexus. It was so dumb. Oh my goodness. So I bought the Lexus in June 2014, and I paid it off through my debt-free journey. This was the largest chunk of my debt, and I paid it off, all my debt-free in February 2019. This Lexus I've had the most problems with this Lexus. So I've gone through 4 windshields. I've hit like 2 or 3 deer. I've had a few parking lot incidents and I park far away. I don't park as close as I can to the door. No, I park far away, and still, like, I'll get dings on my door, like someone backed into my tail light. When I was in Mountain Home, Idaho, there was like a Firestone kind of place on the base for military people, but my car was so low that they couldn't get it onto the ramp thing that they had to do the oil change. So I had to pay extra and go to the Walmart in town for my oil changes, and I had to buy like a special extra little oil cap thing. I don't even know. A lot of second and third order effects. The car is great. I'm keeping it. I'm never gonna sell it. It's definitely a reminder for a lot of things, but it really is a really cool car. It's a great car. It's the last new car I'm ever gonna get, and I really wanna take care of it and have it last a long time. Moving on to mishap number 3, credit cards. Oh my goodness. When I first joined the military in 2008, I had this mindset of, like I'm sure a lot of us did, about you gotta get credit card, build your credit score, you know, get your foot in the door. I could not get a credit card, even Target or Sears credit card. No one would give me a credit card. I don't know why. I couldn't even get a store credit card. I don't know why. I had no established credit at all, and I couldn't get my foot in the door. And I'm, you know, in hindsight, I'm really glad about that. But I was trying every avenue I could, and it took buying a car to get my foot in the door, unfortunately. And I thought that was a good thing. After I bought my SUV, after my first deployment, I got a military star card, which didn't last long. I think it had like a $4,500 limit I could use in the store on the base, but I couldn't use it, you know, at Walmart or Target. I couldn't use it off base, and it didn't build my credit. So eventually I got tired of it, and I just like kind of paid it off and ignored it. But then after I got my SUV, I had it financed through USAA, and that got my foot in the door, and then I was able to get a credit card. I think it had like a $7,500 limit. So that was my mistake. That was the start of my mistake with a credit card. It was with USAA. They gave me a credit card. This credit card was such a mistake because I didn't budget, and having a credit card, I felt like the credit card was my emergency fund. And I think a lot of us are taught that when we're growing up, like, oh, if it's an emergency, just use a credit card. So I fell in this mindset of I would just spend and spend and spend. I have no idea where my money went. Probably food, gas, car payment, and fun stuff. I don't even know. Groceries. So, and then I'd run out of money for the month, and I would use my credit card for like groceries and stuff. So over time, my credit card bill would just go sky high. And so then sometime late in 2017 or sometime early in 2018, my dad was in the hospital. He got really sick. So I wanted to fly home, and I couldn't because I didn't have the money, and my credit card was basically at its limit. I was in Idaho, and I needed to fly to Alabama, and it cost, I don't know, it cost like $900 or something crazy. So I had to ask my sister for money to get a plane ticket. Then I asked USAA to increase my credit limit because I was out of money. They increased it eventually to like $10,000 credit limit, and this was the culmination. This was the situation that triggered my why to get out of debt. You know, I had a credit card, but I was paying at least $100 just in interest by the time I needed it the most. When I needed it the most, I wasn't in a position to use it the right way. So having a credit card is just a slippery slope. The real reason people think they need it, I couldn't even use it for that reason. So I was just so mad. I was mad at myself. I was mad at what I believed in with credit cards. I was mad I didn't have the money to go see my family when they needed me. And you know, I had to ask my sister for money. I was just mad, full spectrum, just fully enraged mode, fully triggered. So yeah, that triggered my why. I remember I was in my bathroom, I was looking through my USAA, I was sitting down and I was like messaging my sister and messaging my mom and messaging USAA, and it was just a really stressful time. So this money mishap of having a USAA credit card, my mom had planted the Dave Ramsey seed in my brain when I was in high school. Like, she mentioned him here or there, but that seed really took root and blossomed when I was in a situation that triggered my why, and I was like looking for like some solution to this problem I was so mad at, and that little seed took root and it just grew. So thanks, Mom. Okay, so my fourth money mishap is not about credit cards or a car. It's a situation that happened with a laptop that I had. So after my second deployment, most of the money went to paying off my SUV Ford Edge that I mentioned, but then I also had a little bit of money left over and I bought a laptop. This laptop was $2,000 from Best Buy. It was HP, I believe. It wasn't like an Apple product, but it was like a touch screen, and it, you know, you could flip the top around, and it was big. It wasn't like a really tiny one. It was a really great laptop. So I took this brand new laptop with me to Alabama, where I went to go to this paralegal training school for 2 months, and I had to fly there from Tampa. And as I was getting ready to complete this 2-month school, a lot of people just would mail stuff back home rather than try and pack it and travel back home like on a plane. So I was like, okay, I'll just pack my $2,000 laptop that I got and I'll just mail it back to myself with a whole bunch of other stuff. This was such a mistake. As you can imagine, I just wrapped it in like clothes. I didn't protect the corners or the screen or anything. So when I got it in Tampa, when I got back from my training, like, it wasn't just the screen was cracked. Like, it wouldn't turn on for some reason. It was cracked. Like, the screen and part of the cover thing was cracked. It was just broken. I just kind of tucked it away and just cried a little bit. And then about 4 years later, when I had moved to Idaho, when I was going through my debt-free journey finally, I was downsizing and selling stuff I could, and I was selling games and selling old college books and things like that. I couldn't sell this laptop. It was broken. I don't know how else to describe it. So I ended up just throwing it away. It was, you know, a $2,000 laptop. I really liked it. It was really cool. Yeah, I ended up just having to throw it away. It still haunts me. It still haunts me today. Well, those are my money mishaps. Those aren't all my money mishaps, but those are 5 of the biggest ones. Let me know what you think about these, if you can relate. I share these with you because I want to prevent other people from making the same mistakes I have. Some of these lessons, people just don't get it until they go through it, and then they're like, oh, that's why that person said that. So hopefully this will help other people, you know, help maybe relive it in some way with me so that they don't even mess with it.